Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to learn about the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is the system which connect all the organs of the body with the central nervous system. The system which connect all the organs of the body with the central nervous system is called peripheral nervous system. You can also say that the system which consists of nerve fiber and exist outside the central nervous system, that is called peripheral nervous system. For example, in this diagram you can see this is brain, this is spinal cord, and this brain and spinal cord is connected with a muscle. This is a muscle, and this muscle is connected with a bone. So this is an organ. Let's suppose this is an organ, and the muscle of this organ is connected with the brain. The muscle of this organ is also connected with the spinal cord. So the system which connect this organ with this brain, or this organ with this spinal cord, this system is called peripheral nervous system. The system which connect any organ with the central nervous system. This consists of fibers. You can see this is a fiber, this is a neuronal fiber, a neuron. This is nerve, you can simply call it nerve. This nerve connect the central nervous system with the any organ of the body. Now this system is further having two types. First of all, you should know that the nervous system basically consists of two main parts. Number one, the central nervous system, and number two, the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system consists of brain plus spinal cord. The brain and spinal cord are combinedly known as the central nervous system. In this diagram you can see this brain and this spinal cord. These two organs, these two parts are known as central nervous system. Now coming toward the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is having two types. As I have already told you that the peripheral nervous system is actually the nerve fibers which exist outside the central nervous system, and these nerve fibers are of two types. Two types of nerve fiber, or two types of system is made up of is made by this peripheral nervous system. These two types of system are, number one, the somatic nervous system, and number two, the autonomic nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is made up of two system, that is called somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system is also known as voluntary nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system is also known as involuntary nervous system. Because the somatic nervous system control all the voluntary functions of the body, and the autonomic nervous system control all the involuntary functions of the body. The somatic nervous system controls all the skeletal muscles. You can see over here that let's suppose this is a muscle, and this muscle is connected with the bone. If a muscle is connected with the bone, that muscle will be called a skeletal muscle. Any muscle which is connected with the bone is called skeletal muscle, and this skeletal muscle is always provided by the somatic nervous system. by the somatic nervous system. One of the uh, one of the peripheral nervous system, one of the part of the peripheral nervous system, that is somatic nervous system. So the somatic nervous system is always provided by the provided to the skeletal muscle. The skeletal muscle is always provided by the somatic nervous system. This is these fibers connect the central nervous system with the skeletal muscle, and you can also see that this must be a single neuronal fiber. This neuron will not be connected with any other neuron. There will be no ganglion in the somatic nervous system. In the somatic nervous system, the neuron will arise either from the brain or from the spinal cord. From any part of the spinal cord, the somatic neuron or the somatic nerve can arise. From any part of the spinal cord, the somatic nerve can arise. For example, let's suppose this is a spinal cord. In this spinal cord, you can see this spinal cord is enclosed by the vertebral column, and this is vertebral column, and in the mid the vertebral column, in the spinal canal, the spinal cord exists. This spinal cord is having cervical region, thoracic region, lumbar region, and sacral region. The cervical region is the neck region, the thoracic region is the region which is the chest region, the lumbar region is the belly region, and below the belly region is the sacral region. And below the sacral region there is coccygeal spinal cord also. But we should focus on this whole structure, that from any part of this spinal cord. Let's suppose this is cervical region. From cervical regions, 8 types of fibers arise. From thoracic region, 12 types of fiber arise, and from lumbar region, L1 to L5 fibers arise. So the in the somatic nervous system, the neuron or the fiber may arise from this region, may arise from this region, may arise from this region. That may arise from any region of the spinal cord, but that will not be connected with any other neuron. That neuron will not form any ganglion. That neuron will directly go to the muscle, the specific muscle, and activate that muscle to contract. So the somatic neuron, the somatic nerve will either arise directly from the brain or may directly arise from the spinal cord, from any part of the spinal cord. This was the somatic nervous system, and this control all the skeletal muscle. And you should know that all the skeletal muscle are voluntary in function, which are derived by our will, which we can control according to our will, all the skeletal muscle. Okay, now the autonomic nervous system. This diagram represents the autonomic nervous system. In this diagram, the autonomic nervous system is represented by red and green lines. The red and green lines represent the autonomic nervous system. In the autonomic nervous system, which is involuntary, which control all the smooth muscles of the body. Actually, the somatic nervous system control all the skeletal muscles of the body, while the autonomic nervous system controls all the smooth muscles of the body. All those muscles which are not connected with any bone. All those muscles which are not connected with any bone are called smooth muscle, and the smooth muscles are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Then we have 2 types of the autonomic nervous system. And number 1, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system, these are 2 types of autonomic nervous system which are not controlled according to our will, and which is represented in this diagram by red and blue, red and green lines, the green line and the red lines. Okay, First of all, this red line, and this red line, these red lines represent the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is one of the type of the autonomic nervous system. You can see in both the system, the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, that there is a ganglion. There should be a ganglion. Ganglion mean the junction of the axon with the cell body of a neuron. The junction or the connection of two neuron, in which the connection may be between the axon and the cell body, the connection may be between the axon and dendrite, the connection may be between the axon and axon, but the connection mainly exists between the axon and the cell body. So the connection between the axon and cell body outside the central nervous system, that is called ganglion. The connection of the axon with the cell body outside the central nervous system, that is called ganglion. That is called what? That is called, I'm writing that ganglion over here. Ganglion. That is the ganglion, which is the connection of two neurons outside the body. Okay, now this ganglion, this nervous system consists of ganglion. This will, while the somatic nervous system do not have any ganglion, you can see over here that somatic nervous system do not have any connection or any ganglion outside the central nervous system, while that may have a lot of connection inside the central nervous system, but they should not have any connection outside the central nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system have a lot of connection inside the a lot of ganglionic connection inside the central nervous system as well as outside the central nervous system. Now you can see in the red color represent the parasympathetic nervous system. In the parasympathetic nervous system, you can see that this neuron is called preganglionic neuron, while this neuron is called postganglionic neuron. The preganglionic neuron of the peripheral of the parasympathetic nervous system is always long than the postganglionic neuron. The preganglionic neuron of the parasympathetic nervous system is always long than the postganglionic neuron. This neuron is preganglionic neuron, and this neuron is postganglionic neuron. Over here, this is preganglionic neuron, and this is postganglionic neuron. Okay, I'm going to write it. The preganglionic neuron, preganglionic neurons, and postganglionic neuron. The preganglionic neuron of the parasympathetic nervous system is long than the postganglionic neuron, while the preganglionic neuron of the sympathetic nervous system is always short than the postganglionic neuron. Similarly, in the parasympathetic nervous system, the nerve fiber or the nerve always arises from the cranium, from the medulla, or from the sacral region. As I have told you, that may arise from the sacral region of the spinal cord. So the parasympathetic nervous system is also called this parasympathetic nervous system. This is the sympathetic and this is the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm going to write it a little on the second text. The parasympathetic nervous system is also called the craniosacral nervous system, while the sympathetic nervous system is also called thoracolumbar nervous system. This is called thoracolumbar nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, while the parasympathetic nervous system is also called the craniosacral nervous system. This is called the craniosacral nervous system because in the parasympathetic nervous system, the nerve always arises either from the cranium or from the sacral region. You can see over here that the nerve arises from the cranium or from the sacral region, from any part of the sacrum or from any sacral nerve. But this arises from the either from the cranium directly or from the sacral. This will not, any parasympathetic nerve fiber will not arise from any other part of the spinal cord. This can only arise from the sacral region. While as far as the sympathetic nervous system is concerned, the sympathetic nervous system will the fiber will always arise, or the nerve will always arise from the thorax region or from the lumbar region. That is why this is called thoracolumbar nervous system. This is called thoracolumbar nervous system because the fiber will either arise from the thorax region or from the lumbar region, from thorax or from lumbar region. That is why this is called thoracolumbar nervous system. So in this in the sympathetic nervous system, there is always, in both of these, there is always a ganglion over here, a ganglion over here, a ganglion over here, a ganglion. But you can see over here that this neuron is not having ganglion. But literally, if we go to the detail, this neuron arises from the thorax or from the lumbar region, but this nerve fiber goes and activate the medulla region of the adrenal gland, and the medulla of the adrenal gland work as the postganglionic neuron over here. This is not actually neuron, but this work as a postganglionic neuron. This work at the postganglionic neuron. Secondly, you should also be clear over here that this is considered as the postganglionic neuron because this also secrete neurotransmitter. This also secrete the neurotransmitter, just like these postganglionic neurons. These postganglionic neurons secrete neurotransmitter. These postganglionic neurons secrete neurotransmitter. So this the medulla region of the adrenal gland also secrete the neurotransmitter. I am going to write this terminology: the neurotransmitter. That is why this is considered as the postganglionic neuron. So we will learn in detail in the next lecture about difference between the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. But in this system, you should be clear that the peripheral nervous system consists of two main parts. One was this one, somatic nervous system, which control all the skeletal muscles of the body and voluntary functions of the body. For example, we walk, we talk, we perform various types of functions according to our will. This is controlled by these fibers. This is transmitted by these fibers to the central nervous system. While the peripheral nervous system, this part of the peripheral nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, control all the functions which are not according to our will. For example, the digestion which takes place inside our intestine, or in the alimentary canal, or the metabolism which takes place inside the liver, and any other function which is not according to our will, that is controlled by the autonomic nervous system.